Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And today's video is sponsored by TerraMaster because they have sent me one of their smaller NAS units that they thought that I should have a look at. I have actually looked at the TerraMaster NAS before. Therefore I have their previous unit right there. So I've seen this before, not this one, but their product. And Mike over at TerraMaster has been bugging me to have a look at this. So I finally gave up and we're gonna have a look at it. So yeah, this is the TerraMaster TS423. I believe I should probably have checked, but I'm pretty sure that it says it on the box. So let's just have the box out and make sure. Yeah, it came through Amazon, so these you can buy on Amazon. And on the box there's a label and it says that it's the F2-423. Here's the box. It says it right there. Cloud storage NAS server. Yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty local to me, but yeah, F2-423. This one, the previous one, is the F2-220. So they advertise this as a high-performance, small, medium business NAS. So, and they have a website where you can go see all the products. This is the, well, they have some larger ones. I was trying to get to have a look at some of those with multiple drives. That would have been more in the themes of Datacenter stuff. There is a box, probably we have a power brick. We do. We're gonna have a look at that later. We're gonna get the NAS out of the box so that we can get rid of the box. There. Oh, very nicely packaged. It looks very much like the previous one, TerraMaster. So we're gonna break the seal. Except on the back here, they have actually added a screen connection, HDMI connector right there. I am very curious to what that does. I unboxed the previous version here, and you can see that they are very similar. I added a VGA connection to this one because we found out that on the system board in here there was room for a VGA connection, so we did that in a video about this box, and I was able to install server 2016 on this box. A very small version. I believe we only have 2 GB of RAM in this, so it ran, but it was kind of slow. I'm very curious to what the HDMI cable is for, but I'm also very curious to see what's inside. We provide quick service and respond to all customer inquiries in 24 hours. In case of any problem, please feel free to contact us. And that's pretty nice. It's a 2-disc unit with trays that comes out like this. I think we should do a little bit like what Dave Jones on the EEV blog says. Don't turn it on, take it apart. So I want to see what's inside, what makes it tick. So I'm gonna go and fetch a screwdriver and we're gonna have a look inside. See how well this is built. While I screw this up, you can have a little look at all the accessories. So first we have a power brick here right next beside me. And it's 12 volts and 3.3 amps, so a maximum of 40 watts. So that tells me that this unit shouldn't actually use more than 40 watts, which is really nice. Then there is some manuals, and there is a manual up here to tell you how to put the disc in the tray. I think that might be overdoing it, but apparently they might have had some problems with people doing that wrong. Then there is some warranty stuff. Then there are some stickers to put on the trays. so that you can remember how big the drives are in there, which is actually not that stupid, because that's always a problem when you have drives. There's a network cable, probably a Cat 6. Yeah, it's a Cat 6. There's some rubber feet to put in the bottom of the box. There's some new rubber feet to put in the bottom of the box. Why are there extra rubber feet to put in? There must be if they fall off then. Okay, then there's an extra shock absorbent rubber things for the trays, and then there's the screws for the trays. I'm guessing that there's 8 screws in here, and it says that it's for 2.5-inch hard drives. So let's see if we can open this now. It does come off, and we have a fan here on the back to cool the unit, and we have the system board right inside here. Does this come out? Oh, how? Oh, it comes out the front. Okay, so you do it that way. And then we have a piece of square metal tubing here. There, and then we have the unit here. Should we just... I'm gonna disconnect the fan to get that out of the way. So here is the NAS with the system board. Oh, it has a RAM slot down there with room for 2 slots of RAM. I'm gonna take out the trays to give you a better view, and me a better view. And it has a very big heat sink. Wow, look at that. There are expansion ports inside of this. I do wonder how that works. Is it possible that you can put in drives here and have exports there? 2 M.2 SSDs. Big ones indeed. Very cool. And an extra slot. It looks like a memory slot right there. Okay. And we have the memory in here. There is 4 gigabytes in this from the factory. So let's just have a look at that. Oh, come on out. And if I do a really good picture of it, I know which RAM to get if I want to upgrade this. So it's a DDR4 4 gigabyte SO-DIMM. Okay, it doesn't say much, I must admit, but yeah. There's a sticker in the bottom here that tells you how to put that RAM block in. That's not very... Okay, but there's room for 2 RAM blocks. Or is there? I think I might be wrong. There might only be room for 1 RAM block in that one. And then one on the other side. Yeah, only room for 1 RAM block there. It very much looked like a double RAM block slot there, but it seems to not be. I'll put the RAM back in. We're gonna start with the original configuration before we start messing with this. So. And if any of you know any good tricks, do leave them in the comments below. I'm very interested in this stuff on the back. It seems we can put in M.2 SSDs. So here we have the system board, and it's booting off of this USB key right there, and the HDMI port is there. There's a reset. There's at least a button right there. I don't think that's on the back. Oh, it actually is. There is a slot for a reset there. This is interesting in the regards that the last one was an entire computer and you could install something else on it. I was able to take the USB pin out and install Server 2016 on that, so it's actually a tiny machine. And in this new one, the processor is not that bad. It scores just about 4000 in CPU performance mark, and it's a 2 GHz quad-core CPU. So it's a decent little storage server. So yeah, I think we have seen just about everything that we can look at in here. I don't see any... I see the back is really interesting on this one. And there's even room for... Seems like they have prepared for yet another... It says M.2 Wi-Fi. So a Wi-Fi module there. Kind of a PCI Express port probably. But you would have to occupy some extra chips that they have left out now that this is not in use. But this seems to be fully occupied, so you could probably put some extra stuff in there, probably. I would guess that this would be for the second RAM block, and these two for, well, M.2 SSDs. I'll assemble it again. Okay, I was assembling it again, and then I realized something interesting. Can you see this? Oh, we can see it through here. These are not SATA slots, they're SAS slots. I wonder if it would take a SAS drive. I randomly have a lot of SAS drives, so yeah, we could definitely try that. Okay, I have screwed it up again. This unit is about $379 on Amazon in the moment of recording this, but it does have some really fantastic specs here. Powerful hardware. It has the Intel Celeron N5105 or an N5095, and that is a quad-core 2 GHz, and that is a quad-core 2 GHz CPU. It comes with 4 GB of RAM, which is okay, but it's expandable up to 32 GB of RAM. And then we haven't even looked at the back really closely, because these network ports claims to be able to do 2.5 gigabits, which is something that I have absolutely nothing that can run, but it's there. It says that here it supports up to 5 gigabits per second under link aggregation. There is the 2 bays for hard drives, and they claim that and there you can put in 2 20 terabyte hard drives, and that will give you a capacity of 40 terabytes. You would most likely want to run that in a mirror. But yeah, if you just were saving something that didn't matter, you could potentially have 40 terabytes of data on here. And they actually says that it has room for those M.2 SSDs. The built-in M.2 2280 NVMe SSD slots can recognize SSD cache acceleration to increase the storage efficiency in the disk array several times. So apparently those slots are for caching and acceleration. So yeah, and then there's a lot of the software that is available. Yeah, I guess we have to connect this to something and try it out. Oh, there it is, quick installation guide. So they just want you to scan a QR code and then you can install your stuff. So I'm of course gonna be putting in some of these awesome Western Digital green drives. Everybody says that these are the absolute perfect NAS drives. I came across that looks like they have gotten some inspiration here from one of the other NAS vendors of how to put in the drives. So I recognize this system, and I was of course kidding about the hard drives. So we have and you are typing down there, aren't you? Yeah, we have some Hitachi drives which are 4 terabytes. I don't actually have any large SATA drives available at the moment. Well, I have a 10 terabytes, but I only have one. So let's put in 2 of these 4 terabytes, and we will get 4 terabytes or 8 terabytes, depending on what security we end up trying. So yeah, this is pretty simple, and the shock absorbance in the rubber will give a little bit. It's not the first NAS that these drives are in. They have been in production or in use since 2012. So they are 10 years old by now. So they have done a really good job already. So now we can see if they can do a really good job in this NAS as well. I do wonder what drives is in the other NAS. Have I left any drives in here? I have not. So now we have some drives in there. So I'm in the middle of hooking up the TerraMaster F2-423, and I was gonna connect the power to it, and I just noticed that it has this little label that says TerraMaster on it, and I thought that is brilliant because you know that if you mix up this power brick, it will, well, they are magical. They will disappear on you whenever they get a chance, so that it's, when it's marked, you at least know that, oh, this is for the TerraMaster. I would have really liked if they put it on the brick for the TerraMaster F2-423. That would have been good. This is very conveniently placed just next to the power socket. Power is connected. I have connected it to my TV. I am very curious to see what output we get on that screen thing on the HDMI port. I forgot to mention the 2 USB ports on the back, and someone said that those were USB 3.1 ports. Okay, the TV is on, so let's try and turn on power to the TerraMaster. Oh, it already sees the HDMI port 1. Do I have to select that? Probably. There. Let's try and power and see if it comes up with something. Yeah. So maybe that's not the way to do it. I'll probably have to go to my computer, and from there I'll be able to seek it out on the network. I have connected a network cable to it, so I was just very curious to see if it popped up with something on the screen, but it seems that it does not do that. So I'm gonna give this a try. The quick installation guide, it has the QR code, but it also just has a web address down there. http://terramaster.com-ish. And there you can go search, where is the mouse? There. You can go search for your NAS. So let's see if it finds anything. Warning. It found it on IP number 16. So okay, we can continue to there. Okay, we could actually just press next, and then it will help us. We can do it automatically, or we can do it custom. I am lazy as heck. I think we'll just do automatically. I don't think we want to do anything special, so the hard drives will be deleted. I'm fine with that, confirm that. And it sees the hard drives. Checking. Oh, 3 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I can't tell jokes that long, so we'll be right back. Oops. It started without me. I was just out for a second, and it started to install TOS, which is the operating system. It's the NAS operating system on it. So I'm guessing that it's moving that from the USB key and over to the drives. That's my best estimate. Well, it's booting the system now. The first start of this NAS. Sounds a little bit like dinosaurs. The NAS is driving toss. Oh, I don't know. Well, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff. Okay, so now I can configure some stuff. Yeah, that's boring. I'll do that. So with a little bit more configuring, we get the the TOS desktop here, and for some weird reason they think it's a good idea to have my external IP number right over here in this widget bar. I don't agree on that, so I'm not gonna share that. I'm gonna close that down. There we are. So now we can see the desktop of the box here, which is of course just a web page. We can get started and TOS help. We're gonna leave those up for now. It did tell me something about how much storage there was available. Let's see the control panel. It looks very much like something that we have seen before, I must admit. Volume. We have a volume here, and at the moment it's synchronizing. It's 1% done. Well, now it's 1.1% done. So in the background, those two drivers are synchronizing. There's nothing on them, so apparently, yeah, it's doing some background task there. There, same thing. Hard drives. Oh, smart data. So we can, we get smart data from the drives. That's handy. Powered on hours 53,366. That must be it. Okay, what about number 2? We'll take a, oh, it's already there. 59,000. Yeah, there are some good old drives. Virtual disks. None. External disks. You can of course connect external disks to your USB 3.1 ports on the back. And there's hot spare. We don't have any of those either. No. There is also a lot of applications that you can install on the NAS, and I can see that this list has become way longer than back in 2016, 2017, when I was looking at the F2-423. Now there is a long list of programs or apps that you can install on your NAS, and some of them really useful stuff, like Plex server right there, PrestaShop, which is the program that I run my shop in, so I could run it off the NAS. So WordPress, and there's a lot of stuff for backup and for cloud storage as well. Those up here look like some cloud storage. Alibaba Cloud and Amazon S3 Sync. Tomcat. Yeah, there's some useful stuff, including Docker here and a multimedia server. So it has a little bit of everything, this NAS. I've been surfing around on it. This is very nice. This is the Intel Celeron N5105. It's a 2 GHz processor. Here is that processor at Intel, and they claim that it can turbo boost up to 3.9 GHz, and it's fairly new. It's from first quarter of 2021, so sometimes last year, and it's a 10 nanometer processor. So it's not very old. It has 4 cores, 4 threads, meaning that it does not have any hyperthreading. It has the boost frequency, and it has a TDP of just 10 watts. So it's not going to be using a lot of power. Funny enough, it says here that it can use a maximum of 16 GB of memory, even though the box says that it can use 32 GB of memory. So I have no idea how they're doing that. 2 memory channels, maximum frequency. It's pretty good. It has internal graphics there, so that is fantastic. Yeah, it has a lot of stuff. Some of the boxes are yes and some of the boxes are no. So yeah, it's a FCBGA 30. I think it's soldered on the system board. Yes, it is indeed a solder on chip. All these little dots on the back of it, meaning that the chip cannot be replaced or upgraded, but yeah, that's to be expected. This is a rather well priced NAS with that processor. Here is the competitor compared to, and you can see down here that it's quad core, but it's only 1.4 gigahertz CPUs, so they are considerably lower frequency than the TerraMaster's CPU. These are some ARM CPUs made by Realtek, and this is an Intel processor. I have no idea how to compare those apples to oranges, but you get a decent CPU in here, and it's not doing much. We can see the resources here, see the memory usage, and we can go back and we can see the CPU usage, each core doing absolutely nothing. Well, there's a little thumb thing down here that's almost impossible to see, but it's only working on this file volume thing here. It's up to 19.2% synchronizing the volumes, so it's leaving me with no choice but to wander around and finding weird stuff. For example, if you right click on the desktop here, you have the choice of wallpaper and settings. So let's just wallpaper. So here we can change the wallpaper. Notice the menus out here, account other. So let's oh, that wasn't it. Okay, close that again. Then we right click again and pick settings. Then we are under the account. But if we go into desktop, it's exactly the same window. So that is kind of weird. But we could just, well, I'm already getting tired of this. It looks like the cooking channel. So I found that there is some nicer ones. Weird rocks. Some hard thing. I think some of this looks pretty cute, but decisions. Let's go with the world. Okay, so back to the CPU. I have found it here on Passmark's benchmark. Intel Celeron blah 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 blah, and it scores 4115, which is decent for a low-end CPU. I usually say that if you're gonna go out and buy a laptop, don't get anything that runs that benchmarks under 4000, and that was actually a couple of years ago. And NAS doesn't do that much, but it still needs the processing power, especially if you're going to be using it for some streaming TV thingy. In that case, it's good to have some compute power. And this CPU actually has some hardware embedded methods of decompressing and compressing H.265 and H.264 and all that good stuff. And it's able to handle that in hardware and only using 10 watts. So I've been looking some more at this, and it seems like TerraMaster they're getting there. And you have the menu here, the control panel, and you can do a lot of stuff with the drives, with the network, different file services. You have FTP service here that you can go and enable and disable. Right now it by default is enabled, and not secure FTP. Might not be a good idea, but yeah. We need some packages on here to really use this good CPU that is in here. So we can go to applications, and we can pick our packages. I found that if you go to here, you can if you pick businesses, you get Docker, and then it has VirtualBox as a virtualizer, so you can have virtual machines running in here. Using VirtualBox, and Docker using Docker. So I was gonna get Docker, so we're gonna install that. That was fairly 50% installed. There, that's done. I think we should just get VirtualBox as well, now that we are here. I don't remember when I have used VirtualBox last, if I even have, but yeah. There, that was so simple. And the icons popped up right over here on the screen. So we can go into Docker, and it looks exactly like the Docker that I've seen on the Synology NAS. So we can kind of install the same stuff on here as we're used to. Okay, just to test out something on Docker, I wanted to install some Kodi on here, and I found something called Kodi Headless, which sounded great. And I have the container running right there, and I actually have it works, it's running here. It just seems to be absolutely not what I needed. I was hoping to get the Kodi media player running somehow, so that I could play some of my old grabbed DVD movies that I have made ISO files out of long ago, and it seems that the Kodi Headless thing is most likely not meant for that at all. So yeah, that was a waste, but isn't really the NAS's fault, just me that don't know what it's doing. So now that Kodi didn't work, I tried to install the media server that comes with the TerraMaster and the TOS system here, and I got that up and running. I've only transferred one film to it, and this is actually it's called The Girl in the Trunk, and it's a film that I'm involved in as a producer, and this is the first cut, and I'm not gonna show it to you because I will get into trouble with the director. But I also transferred another video to it, which I'm in as an actor. Well, it's the drowning of Arthur Braxton. I am gonna pass that because I'll probably also get into trouble with the director because, well, but that part definitely works. If anyone knows how you can play your ISO files that you have grabbed from your DVD collection, which is located in these here, that I grabbed many years ago when I got tired of being a disc jockey, I would very much like to know that, because the only system I know is Kodi that will play ISO files and with the menus from the DVDs and stuff, extra languages and all that good stuff. So, but if anyone else knows, please let me know in the comments below. So that was the TerraMaster F2-423, says it right here on the front. I forgot to, there's an on-off button and there are some LEDs that tells you what it's doing. Power, hard drive 1 and hard drive 2. And you get pretty good hardware with this device compared to its to the competitor, which supplies their NASs in black. And I have seen people doing videos where this has been streaming 4 videos out of there. I don't know if anyone needs to do that, stream 4 videos at the same time, but apparently it can do it. But never mind, I'm hoping to use this in the tiny secret bunker project that we are doing in the garden, and I'm hoping that we can figure out what that HDMI port is used for. I tried to connect it to the screen, and I also tried to connect the keyboard. I didn't get very far, nothing came up. So yeah, if someone knows how to get something on the screen, or maybe even get into the BIOS of the 423, yeah, haven't figured it out on this one yet. So yeah, links in the description for where you can go and check this out on Amazon, I guess, and also a link to TerraMaster where you can go and, well, find out more things about this unit, which is bloody heavy with those Hitachi drives in it for a small box like this. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye. Never mind, figured it out. It's just my TV that didn't show anything.